Yep.
Good morning. Welcome to day 5. We're getting ready, packing everything to leave Galilee and head to Jerusalem today. We are having a lot of fun with this group, with the Archbishop of Seattle, Alexander Burnett, and his people, and we're looking forward to being in Jerusalem. I'm one of the guides, Amir Shahadi from Nazareth, and Steve Ray is on the other bus doing the other part. Thank you.
Well, we're leaving the Ron Beach Hotel. Everybody's sad. Had a good time here. We're on our way now to Jerusalem, but we have a few stops along the way around Galilee. But we're getting our 2 buses all loaded, and we're going to be heading to the primacy of Peter and Mass at Capernaum, and a boat ride, and St. Peter's Fish, and the baptism, renewal of baptismal vows, and then we'll head to Jerusalem.
It was wonderful to have this group from Seattle. Beautiful, happy, and nice people. We hope to see them again in Israel and on the Sea of Galilee with Steve and his wife, and with Rick, with all the nice people that make a wonderful time to all of us. Thank you, and God bless you, and we hope to see you again.
Let's go.
Good morning, this is day 5. I'm Dick Gilroy, this is my wife Lorraine. We've been having a fabulous time here at the Sea of Galilee, and we're now heading off to Jerusalem. Looking forward to a lot more experiences
with the Archbishop.
You know what I mean? Some of you have headsets, some...
Okay, we're on the boat on the Sea of Galilee. Everybody's enjoying this very much. There's Tiberias, and we're seeing the shoreline here where Jesus lived and where he did most of his ministries. Right up here is the Mount of Beatitudes. That's where we had Mass yesterday. And as we follow along the shoreline all the way to the northern tip, there is where Bethsaida is, the hometown of Peter and Andrew and Philip, and all along this shore is where Jesus did most of his ministry for 3 years.
But that night I went out at 6 o'clock. I got on the boat with Shimi and Udi, and we went out fishing all night on the sea up at the northern tip here. And it was really an experience, because I asked them questions like, this is a small sea, and in the Bible it says that there are winds that come up and storms, and it blows people around. And Shimi says, oh yes, the sea, it get to be very bad in the winter. And I said, how high do the waves get? He says, up to 3 meters, or in other words, 9 feet tall. He says the waves can come, and experienced fishermen here will find themselves over against the shore over there, against their will, because the waves would blow them over there.
Roundabout. This is the difference. The Sea of Galilee receives but does not keep the Jordan. For every drop that flows into it, another drop flows out. The giving and receiving go on in equal measure. The other sea is shrewder, hoarding its income jealously. It will not be tempted into any generous impulse. Every drop it gets, it keeps. The Sea of Galilee gives and lives. The other sea gives nothing. It's named the dead. There are 2 seas in Palestine. There are 2 kinds of people in this world. What kind are we?
Explain what is going on when the Jews gather for a meal. If you ever go to a Passover meal,
you will see that there's one question, when one asks, what's the historical meaning of this event? And then father of the family has to give the answer. This is what it means. Like the Exodus said, why are we having this meal? And he has to explain. Here's the answer. Then one of the kids is supposed to be ridiculed. How can anybody do this?
First of all, there's always the joke that this is where Peter's mother-in-law was sick, and this is where Jesus healed his mother-in-law, Peter's mother-in-law, and some say that's why Peter denied him later. That's good. That's bad. That's actually good. But I have in the book here, I have a list of some of the things that took place right where we're standing in the first century. If you could just imagine, Jesus walked here. This is what's the difference between holy ground and other places. I love going to Rome. It's my second favorite city in the world after Jerusalem. But other parts of the world have sacred sites dedicated to God and to saints and so on. But here we're standing on holy ground because God touched this ground himself with his own feet. Jesus walked here, and when he walked places, he sanctified them, just like he sanctified water for baptism. We're now at the Church of the Primacy of St. Peter on the shore of the Sea of Galilee. It's also called the Mensa Christi, where our Lord fed the disciples after his resurrection in John chapter 21. We're now at the Tangerine restaurant where everybody's eating St. Peter's fish. After being on the Sea of Galilee, it's kind of fun to eat the fish now. So I'm just going to show you this restaurant. Here gives you an idea. How do you like that fish?
Very good, thank you.
Looks like Jack's doing pretty good with this fish here.
Jack's leading the group.
Is it good? Is it good?
Eyeballs are winning.
How do you like your fish? Good, good.
You're right, sharing is the way to go.
That's a good way. So here's all the group drinking some nice cold beer, eating their St. Peter's fish and fries.
Now that you are renewing your baptismal vows before God and all of these brothers and sisters, I ask you, do you reject sin so as to live in the freedom of God's children?
I do.
Do you reject Satan, the father of sin and prince of darkness?
I do.
Anybody else have a bottle?
Here's all our people having our first dinner at the Notre Dame Hotel. And just a little bit we're going to go up and have a talk about the political situation for those who would like to understand the Palestinian and Israeli situation.